Hey Greenspring, I'm your host Avan Price, and I am excited here today to have two special guests with me. I have the Director of Sales and Information, David Taylor, and then he brought along with him one of his staff people because he could not do the show alone. He brought Lauren with him, and so let's go into that. So I hear that someone got a promotion, and David, I'm gonna throw it to you to introduce that.
So without any hesitation, obviously we promoted Lauren Askey to our Senior Sales Associate in our office. Lauren has been with the team for 3 years now. She's had a multitude of roles and responsibilities and really just had an incredible year last year, and it was a well-deserved promotion. I think this April she will have been with Greenspring for about 11 years. Started in the philanthropy office, of course moved to sales, and we couldn't be more thrilled to give her a well-deserved promotion. So very exciting, very exciting.
Congratulations, Lauren.
Thank you.
See, I've been here 3 years, and I remember when you were in philanthropy, and I remember when you switched out of there, everyone was like, whoa, Lauren is switching out of there. Oh, excuse me, Lauren is switching out of there. So tell me about the accomplishments, and he said you made big numbers. That you exceeded your goals. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, one of the reasons I moved to sales was just because it was a new challenge and opportunity and a way to grow in the organization. And so moving into sales, I was given all these opportunities to develop into different roles, and because of my experience already here at Greenspring, it was pretty easy to keep going, and love what I do. But last year we had some change in the office, and so I was just given the opportunity to help people who had reserved move forward in the process and become residents, and help hit our numbers and our occupancy goal and our settlement goals. And so a lot of that was put on me, which was achieved. And so yeah, it's been a fun challenge and opportunity, and I'm very appreciative of the promotion and motivated to keep going.
Well, we're very excited for you. That's really good news to hear and everything. So you kind of touched maybe a little bit on it. So as senior, so does that mean now you're in charge, or like, what's going on? That's a little bit more of a special title there than just sales associate. Now it's senior sales associate. So what kind of roles and responsibilities comes with that extra tag of senior?
Sure. So I think just being in control of the whole process when someone reserves and getting them through the process. I will also be helping to train others in the office to be able to do some things that they want to do to advance in their role as well. So that comes in part with the training and the title. I'll also be able to do some advanced trainings and things as part of being a leader, which I'm really looking forward to. So hopefully I'll get my feet wet in a few other areas that I haven't done yet. So continue to learn.
I also like to say, and Lauren's being very modest. I mean, she not only helped us reach our goals last year, but we did it ahead of schedule, and a lot of that was put on her shoulders. Another great piece of information that we gave Lauren at the beginning of this year, she's also been enrolled in our Future Leaders program, and that also comes with being a senior sales associate. She kind of touched on it, helping mentor some of the other associates in the office, but she's really developing into a leader in our office. I lean on her a lot for some day-to-day activities and numbers and strategies, and it's really well deserved. I can't say enough about coming back and seeing Lauren still in the sales office, and just seeing kind of how she grew from when I left, and now coming back and seeing last year all that she was able to accomplish. Definitely a future leader within the organization, and hopefully with Greenspring. So we're really proud of her.
Now, this might sound like an interview, like a job interview, but I got a question. So I did retail, which is sales technically, and we used to have goals, and that used to stress me out. Reaching goals, because it was like, you have to market and you have to be extra nice to try to reach those goals. Now, do you find, you said you exceeded your goals. Now, was that stressful? How did you feel handling all that kind of stuff?
It is stressful at times, but for me, I'm a person who's a planner. I like deadlines and checklists. So for me, it was easy to get organized and to meet those goals. And while yes, it was stressful sometimes, I have a great team to help back me up, and we all work really well together. But I sort of thrive off of that energy and that motivation and the deadlines. So while it's stressful, I also kind of enjoy it as well. So
all right, I'm glad that works out for you, because it didn't work out too well when I did those goals. Well, congratulations, Lauren.
Thank
Do you have
you.
anything else you want to say about that? How do you feel?
no, I'm doing great.
All right. Well, I have a couple questions for David. David, you've been here now for how long?
Well, which times are you talking about? Because collectively, right.
Coming back now as the director.
Coming back, I've been here for about 9 months now. Yep.
And how does it feel?
Feels great. You have people like Lauren on your team, and my entire team is just such a great group of people to work with. Outside of that, being back with all the residents, seeing them, seeing folks that I helped move in, and seeing how they're thriving. I love it. It was like coming back home again. But to Lauren's point, I mean, it's fun. It's stressful. It's never a dull day, and that's kind of what you sign up for when you get into kind of our line of business. And so far, I have not been disappointed. It's everything I thought it would be and more. And it's just so great to be back. So I'm loving it. I hope they love having me here, but. We're doing a good job, so I am enjoying it.
Well, that's really good. So part of our conversation before we went live, we were talking about the new property.
Yeah.
Off Braddock Road,
Yeah.
and I was asking you, does the sales team, are they involved in the whole process now, since I guess Greenspring has the property or Erickson Living has the property, kind of what's going on and what's the sales and information's role with that whole process?
Yeah, so, Erickson Living does own the property now. It is going through its zoning process, so that can be a long process. I mean, you're talking the zoning in Fairfax County could be 2 to 3 years, just because there's a lot of board meetings and residential meetings, and there's just a lot of things to get that property, that piece of land zoned for something like a Greenspring. But we are starting the process, obviously because the information of the property is out there in the public. We have been getting calls from folks that are interested and want to know, time frames, how do they get the process started, and really what we're communicating to folks that we speak with is the best thing that they can do at this point is join our wait list, either at Greenspring or at Ashby Ponds. For residents who've gone through this process, if you remember back when you joined the wait list, your wait list date was transferable to any of the Erickson Living properties. So being able to be on our priority list will kind of get you ahead of the game for if and when the Braddock Road property becomes zoned for a continuing care retirement community and they actually start calling people, you'll have a wait list date of now versus waiting until that comes into fruition. So it kind of works in our benefit for a couple of reasons. I've said it before on one of these shows, I don't necessarily look at Braddock Road as a negative in terms of competition, but it also gives us a little insight and gets us to have a chance to kind of talk with those folks that are saying they're interested in Braddock Road, and who knows? 2 to 3 years is a long time. So we might be able to kind of bring them over to our side. So, but conversations have begun. But once again, it's a long process. It's a long process.
That's really good to hear, because I think some people are still curious about the whole property and what's going on with it, or how people are going to fill up that space and everything like that. And I just thought of something. How does the sales team market for new residents to come in? I just thought about that. Do y'all have like different, what's the word I'm looking for, techniques, or like?
There are different strategies involved. There are different strategies involved. It just depends upon what our goals are for the year, what our occupancy is, what our availability is. All that's going to go into how aggressively we market, into what marketplaces we actually go into. Right now we have 4 apartments available, and we're sitting at 99.2% occupancy. So how we market is really about generating our priority list and building that pipeline for the days that we have more than 10 apartments available. We're really kind of cultivating those folks that have said that they're interested in making the move, and trying to get those last 4 apartments reserved by people who are already on our priority list. So, it fluctuates based upon kind of what we're facing at the time, but we have great marketing partners in our corporate office that work with us and strategize with us, and we try to come up with plans. Some of it, though, it is kind of your forecasting for the future, right? So, if I'm planning planning for, June and we're sitting in February, you're kind of guessing a little bit on what it's going to be like in the summer. So we try to do our best with what we have in front of us. But we got a lot of great partners. We listen to a lot of, the calls that come in to the residents even here. Some of our great folks that we tap on in terms of, what they'd like to see, different strategies, things like that. So a lot of different avenues.
That's good to hear, because I've always wondered, different strategies that are happening within the sales and info group. And I just thought of a different question. I hope this doesn't come out wrong. What is the turnaround? Like, how quickly is the turnaround sometimes, like when a resident has passed on to fill in that apartment? Is it like a long turnaround, or is it pretty quick, or it just depends on the location?
Oh gosh, that's a good question with probably a long answer.
Well, it depends. We got 3 minutes left.
It depends. I mean, ultimately, it depends. And you tapped on a little bit of location, and but there's so many different factors that have to happen before we even get a chance to go in and look at the apartment. Right? The apartment needs to be cleaned out. The keys have to be turned in. Unit releases have to be signed. And so once all of that starts, that's really when we have our chance to start marketing it and getting folks in to see it. And it really just depends. We'll have waves of folks that, only want 2-bedroom, 2-bath, so those go real quickly. Right now we have a wave of people who want 1 bedroom, so those are going. And I have some 2-bedroom, 2-baths right now that I'm like, man, these used to be the popular ones, and now, they're kind of hanging around. So it just depends. It's really hard to say how long it takes us to move apartments, but if you look at our occupancy at 99.2 right now, we're moving them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Only having 4 apartments really gives us the ability, from a strategy standpoint, to strategize scarcity. So that's helping us move apartments quickly as well. So it fluctuates. It's hard to say, oh, it takes us 60 days, or it takes us, it depends.
Okay.
It just depends on a lot of factors.
All right. Anything else, Lauren? I know you have something to say. You look like you got something to say before we go on break.
No, nothing.
No? Okay.
I just hope we can keep up with all these numbers and selling the apartments and keeping the occupancy up for the residents and for the community. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. But it wouldn't be without the help of everyone, the resident ambassadors and staff that help us do it all.
Well, you work hard. I see you all the time giving tours, and your guests are always watching me as I'm in the control room doing stuff. But that's really good. I always see y'all busy, and you're working hard, grinding out there. So I'm glad everything is working out. Lauren, congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you so
I can't wait to
much.
see you succeed in your new role.
Thank you.
And next time, I think you're going to bring on Arzo.
Yes, I will bring on our newest member. I apologize for not doing it sooner, but I will have our newest team member here to introduce to everyone who hasn't met her at this set yet.
I think she was probably hiding when
she might have been.
when you pulled Lauren. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. I hope you have a great weekend.